I'm hoping and praying that this is the last little bit of detail that the Lord gives me on the power of the dog, the crucifixion of Jesus. Because I'll be honest with you, I'm just about sick of it. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, of course. But I'm reminded of the dream he gave me the other night, speaking of this world is vile. And when I was reading Deuteronomy 25, 1 through 3, what it mentions in verse 3 absolutely blew my mind. And I challenge you to read that for yourself. It almost paints a picture of Jesus putting on the vile of this world, because we don't know how many whips he actually took. And the pictures that was painted in Isaiah that I read to you the other day, of his face being disfigured and his body being disfigured, it broke me. And I've been broken over this for a while now, the last couple of days anyways. Even more so as a child of God. I want to get closer to Jesus, and I pray you see this as a message in that way as well, that you are drawing closer to Jesus through this also. This is the last part, I pray, of what I can share with you of the crucifixion of Jesus, at least for now. Now we're going to get into the last part, which we've already shared, how he was treated as a enemy of the state, how he was scourged, how he was poisoned with a crown of thorns, and how he was on the cross in the 3 hours of darkness. Now we're going to get into one more thing, and this is hopefully again the last part. Starting in Matthew 27 verse 34, they gave him vinegar to drink mingled with gall, and when he had tasted thereof, he would not drink. This is Mark chapter 15 verse 23, and it states this: and they gave him to drink wine mingled with myrrh, but he received it not. It states that Jesus refused it. Jesus was offered wine mixed with gall while he was on the cross. It says the Roman soldiers offered Jesus wine mixed with myrrh, which is also known as having a bitter taste, so it could have been mixed with wormwood, is what some say. This mixture was intended to dull Jesus' senses and to ease his pain, but Jesus tasted it and refused it. And you can read the rest for yourself. This was the second drink that he was offered while on the cross. Mark 15, 36. And one ran and filled a sponge full of vinegar and put it on a reed and gave him to drink, saying, let him alone. Let us see whether Elijah will come and take him down. And here in Luke, we see a little bit more. Luke 23:36. And the soldiers also mocked him, coming to him and offering him vinegar. This is John 19:28 through 30. After this, Jesus, knowing all things were now accomplished, that the scriptures might be fulfilled, he said, I thirst. Now there was set a vessel full of vinegar, and they filled a sponge with vinegar and put it upon a hyssop and put it to his mouth. And when Jesus therefore had received the vinegar, he said, it is finished. And he bowed his head and he gave up the ghost. The first drink was medicine. He didn't take it, but he drank of this one. This is what it is believed to have been given to Jesus. The Romans used vinegar to clean themselves after using the bathroom. Pterosoum. The Romans used a tool called a pterosoum wipe to wipe their buttocks after using the bathroom. A pterosoum was a sea sponge attached to a wooden stick that was dipped into a bucket of vinegar or salt water to clean their butt after use. Jesus did not partake of the medicine, but in John chapter 19, verse 28 through 30, he said, I thirst. And now there was a vessel full of vinegar, and they filled a sponge with vinegar, and put it upon a hyssop, which is a stick, and put it to his mouth. And when Jesus therefore had received the vinegar, he said, it is finished. And he bowed his head and he gave up the ghost. He didn't take the medicine, but he took that. I'm sorry to put it this way, but he drank shit water. And he was treated like a dog. And he was whipped like a slave. And he was treated like he was a wicked, wicked man. Deuteronomy 25, 1-3. And if there be a controversy between men, and they come into judgment, that the judges may judge them, then they shall justify the righteous and condemn the wicked. And it shall be, if the wicked man be found worthy to be beaten, that the judge shall cause him to lie down and be beaten before his face, before his brother's face. The chief priest, they had to watch him be beaten, according to his fault by a certain number. 40 stripes he may give him, and not exceed it, least, if he should exceed it, and beat him above these with many stripes, then thy brother should seem vile unto thee. Isaiah 52, starting in verse 14-15. As many as were astonished, or shocked and overwhelmed at thee. His face was so destroyed and martyred and bruised more than any man, and his form more than the sons of men. So shall he sprinkle many nations. The kings shall shut their mouths at him. For that which he had been told, them shall they see, and that which they had not heard shall they consider. 53 verses 3-5. He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrow, acquainted with grief. We hid, as it were, our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not. Surely he had bore our grief and carried our sorrows. Yet we did esteem him stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted. But he was wounded for our transgressions, he was bruised for our iniquity, and the chastisement of our peace was upon him, and with his stripes we are healed. All we like sheep have gone astray, we have turned every one to his own way, and the Lord hath laid on him the iniquity of us all. He was oppressed and afflicted, yet he opened not his mouth. He is brought as a lamb to the slaughter, and as a sheep before his shears is dumb, so he opened not his mouth. He was taken from prison and from judgment. And who shall declare his generation? For he was cut off of the land of the living. For the transgression of my people was he stricken. And he made his grave with the wicked and with the rich in his death, because he had done no violence, neither was any deceit in his mouth. Isaiah 56 verse 10. His watchmen are blind. They are all ignorant. They are all dumb dogs. They cannot bark, sleeping, lying down, loving to slumber. Yea, they are greedy dogs which can never have enough. They are shepherds that cannot understand. They all look to their own ways, every one for his gain, for his quarter. Come ye, say they, I will fetch wine, and we will fill ourselves with strong drink, and tomorrow shall be as this day, and much more abundant. Isaiah 50 verse 6, I gave my back to the smiters, and my cheeks to them that plucked off the hair. I hid not my face from the shame and the spitting. This was the power of the dogs found in Psalms 22. And I pray that this is it. We have to understand, children of God, what Jesus truly went through. He faced so much pain and hurt for us. Will you continue to live the way you do? Or will you make a change? The hell that he faced, was it worth it? you.